And we back. Southeast Mouthpiece, the Archie Carter. That's King HP. This is Attitude Era Podcast. Clash at the Castle. It's over. We here to talk about it. HP, what's happening?
Oh man, it's a great day outside, but you know what I'm saying, in my heart and right now in Glasgow, I don't know how good they feeling right now. I don't know if we feeling the same. You know,
It's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. That's what we're gonna call this one. It's bittersweet. Because on one hand, it was sweet. Then in the other hand, it was bitter. So we're gonna talk about it. Like I said, this is Attitude Era Podcast, the Archie Carter, King HP. Let's get right into it. We did predictions. We're gonna get into it. We recapping it. Just happened. HP, what you got?
So right out the gate, I was surprised by this a little bit. Right out the gate, we get the I Quit match. Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles. And how you feel about it? Because I felt like it was a good match until
this opening match 100% told me the end of the last match, but I was wrong. This was a solid match. Again, when we did the recap, we said we don't know what Cody had in his submission bag. We know AJ had the calf crusher, but this was just a fight.
Bro.
This was a fight. And of course, shout out to Mama Rhodes. She was in the building. She got a little physical. She got a little handsy with AJ. But this match was good. When I saw it led the card, I didn't know where this was going to go because, it was just like shocking. I will say this card was booked very well, but
absolutely.
Cody retained. I know you weren't happy with the end. And tell them why you mad. Why weren't you happy with the end of this match?
So, that's your man's. As he said, we got the Cody win. So, like you said, great match. They fought all through the building. Right? I think AJ Styles is phenomenal, hence phenomenal AJ. When you get to the end, you get a handcuffed AJ to the ropes. Now, they went back and forth with this handcuff. I can give you my fantasy booking, but, he handcuffed AJ, and the threat of hitting him with the steps was enough for AJ to I quit. I thought that, man, I threw my notepad. What we talking about?
To me, if the Archie Carter's handcuffed to a corner, can't go nowhere, and somebody's about to pummel me with some stairs, I too might say, hey, chill, homeboy, chill. You just gonna take it on the chin.
I felt like
let's put you in those handcuffs and handcuff you to those ropes, and someone in front of you, and they about to get busy. And
mind you though, they're long handcuffs. They have about 5, maybe 3 feet, maybe 8 feet, not 8, maybe like 3 to 5 feet of length in them. They're long cuffs. They're very long. They're very you can be like this. You can do a wingspan with them. And the reason why I say that is because Cody was cuffed. Cody ain't quit.
Cody ain't AJ.
First. And AJ got to wearing him out in front of Mama Rhodes. Just
It was good. Again, I think it was a real good match. In our predictions, you picked AJ to win. I picked Cody Rhodes. DNA picked Cody Rhodes. So they came in hot with this. It was a physical match. It was a good match. But like you said, until the end where you weren't happy with it. I was okay with it. A million times we've seen I Quit matches where people pass out, they tap out, they get buried under things. I've never seen one end like this. So for them to give me something I've never seen in 2024 in the wrestling ring, I think that was kind of cool.
Right, and I hear you on that. I thought the match was great up until that point. I just felt like it was a little too rushed. Like I would have liked to seen maybe a botched injury where not a botched injury, but like a kayfabe injury with the shoulder. Like
we saw a botch, and we're gonna get to it.
We're gonna get to him.
Two botches. Overall, that match,
two botches.
You weren't happy with it. Cody Rhodes retained. He came in hot. That crowd was hot. Okay.
Start to finish.
Let me get my old man on the porch, get off my grass moment out real quick. It was too much.
What you mean?
They were doing too much. My man Jim Cornette, like he on the wall right here. I don't like when fans hijack the show. It was a lot of that going on tonight.
I think this, right, as a guy who has I have played sports in Greece.
Oh, it's different. I know it's different. That's soccer culture, the chanting, singing.
I'm very appreciative to a crowd that can maintain energy for 3 hours straight.
First of all, you ain't had to stun on me talking about you. I played soccer in Greece.
I didn't play soccer. We played stupid. And that was just, you know what I'm saying? But the crowd can be, I appreciate it because it's like American crowds. A lot of people felt like this for the Backlash too. Same sentiment you have. A lot of people did feel like they're doing too much.
Backlash was cool.
You don't think it was like within that same realm of like
Backlash did it doing intros. This was like start, stop throughout the whole event. So, shout out to Chris checking in. Chris, we need to know what you think. But first match out the way, I liked it.
Way to start the show though.
Right. So we starting hot.
Hot. You start. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I have the match around an 8 because I ain't gonna lie. I didn't like the end. I can't. The match was phenomenal. They went all the way to the back to not the production truck, but they were in like the editing room fighting.
I didn't expect them to go. It was like, I don't know. I didn't expect that type of match. I thought it was gonna be in ring, physical, trading moves, trading holds, and they gave me something different, and I appreciated that. So Cody Rhodes retains. Is Cody Rhodes still invited to the barbecue? Is he coming to the cookout?
July 4th. I mean, at this point, Trick Williams is expecting him. So there we have it. Cody Rhodes is the winner.
He retains. He is still your champion. So after this, where we going, HP?
We went into the women's triple threat tag team title match.
Again,
Jade and Bianca
in hot. I didn't expect this.
I didn't either. Jade and Bianca, Dawn and Fire versus Baszler and Stark. Solid match. I had it. Solid action. Good. I don't know how to say this, but Jade's power, even though we could say other things about any other aspect, her power is like devastatingly like great to watch. You know what I think about Jade? Russell Westbrook was playing, right?
Mm-hmm. Shaquille O'Neal told him, slow down. I think it's a lot on Jade. Like, bro, she's been thrown into it. Yes, she comes from another company, but it's two people that's been thrown into the fire in WWE in the past year. One is Jade Cargill, two is Solo Sikoa. They're in big spots. So it's a lot. So the match starts. Match is good. We can skip to the end because if you watched it, you know what happened. We have new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions.
And with that being said, boom.
Fire and Dawn.
We have new. Now, here's what I got to say about these spots. I love, there was like a fireman's carry into a fall away slam, but at the same time,
double. Well, first of all, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark was in this match. Dawn and Fire was in this match, and Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And in our predictions, this is one of the ones we thought across the board. It's no way Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are dropping these titles this soon, right now, and we were wrong.
Very wrong.
Belt's gone. No more gold.
But the way they dropped it was great because it wasn't like they had to be pinned. Remember that's the beauty of the triple threat match with these tag teams. You can drop your gold
and you don't lose.
So you can still keep these women looking strong. Potential apparent rematch. And it might
we've been on a NXT women's praise parade, me and you.
Right.
And these two women athletes, wrestlers, are the perfect example of what we've been talking about. We've been saying the next group of women coming up from NXT are like that. And if Triple H and whoever else make these calls didn't feel that way, we wouldn't have these new tag team champions. And I don't know what else there is because, I think Jade Cargill is amazing, but she's only been hot tag strength spot. You got to be able to wrestle. You got to be able to go back to the Ricochet conversation. It may be people, you might look the part, talk the part, but it's just stacked. It's a lot of people in front of you fighting for spots. So I thought it was great. What do you think about their run overall?
I think their run was needed and it was good and it was refreshing. Because they look so dominant, right? So it provides some legitimacy to Dawn and Fire now. Because you didn't beat them, but you beat and you won. You took the gold off them. So now you get a back and forth, you get a rivalry. I think this is where you see the breakdown of Jade and Bianca going forward as they try to put too much pressure on themselves to get that title back. Maybe they bump heads a little bit. Because again, how long are you going to keep Bianca out the world title picture? I don't know. She looks great in tag action, though. I mean,
this match had a couple miscues in it. I'm going to call them miscues. I hate the B word. One was Jade's springboard and she slipped, that could happen to anybody, right? We've seen the greatest slip. We've seen Eddie slip. We've seen Ray slip. We've seen Rick. We've seen the greatest slip. But that rear naked choke hold, sleeper hold, did Jade tap?
So here's what's wild. And I wanted to put that in the chat. Jade might accidentally cost them the championship because the ref would have been on the other side because the announcers had to point that out because Jade was trying to
She did it twice. She did it twice.
That's a tap out. And she did it again with the knuckles. And the ref was actually there looking at that one.
Do you think that's the inexperience?
Yes.
When you can't say, hey, you're working too stiff or loosen up, and we know people communicate in the ring all the time. And instead of saying it, I think she and they pointed it out. And it kind of made me like, did she tap? And maybe that could be part of the storyline if they make it. Bianca could say, well, you tapped, you did this, you did boom, 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 whatever. But good match. The Castle, Scotland went crazy.
Literally, when you say give them their flowers, they literally gave these women flowers.
But they gave them the garden, they gave them the tree, they gave them the Botanica, they gave it to them. And we don't know why the decision was made, but if the gold is on them, I think they deserve it. If you can, even if it's for one night and you're able to be a champion in a sport and a thing you love and you win in your hometown, that's the highest of highs. So shout out to the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And respect to the old champs because that's not an easy spot to jump right into. And shout out to Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark because they've been in some pretty good spots the past few months. So, absolutely. And I like Shayna and Zoe, real solid team. And overall match, what you got?
I had it pretty good. Again, that I'm still mesmerized by that. I don't know what, because the fireman's carry, you have them on your back, boom, right?
It was a fireman's carry and a fall-away slam.
But if I catch you and I flip you backwards, that's a fall-away slam. But I got a fireman's carry fall-away slam because I got one girl on my back from one team, other girl from the other team. Got them both. This is Jade Cargill we're talking about.
Wait, and then she kicked up at the end.
And then she kicked up. Yo,
the kip up is crazy. Again, you're gonna get the highlights, you're gonna get the strength spots, it's gonna look good, but you have to be able to put together a complete match. And we're gonna give our girl some time. We give grace on Attitude Ever podcast. We ain't perfect.
We ain't perfect.
But
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know how much grace you really need to give her if you can hide her behind spots, because you have a lot of wrestlers that are really good at spots and they're okay wrestlers. So if you can make her like a punch kick, not a grapple, but a punch kick,
a striker,
right? You could probably hide some of that and then hit her up with these strength spots. because again, the stuff I saw and watch her do was phenomenal. I was
So you
like,
saying give her more of a Brock Lesnar type move set?
I'm scared for Brock because Brock has some interesting. Brock can pull some stuff out, but yeah, maybe like a Diesel. Diesel's moveset was very basic, very sidewalk slam, punch, power kick, get you in the turnbuckle, boom, running clothesline, back elbows, knees, forward knees, and side, like boom. And that's for the, so I think that would work for her, and her strength spots will be enough to carry her. And then you put her in there with the Bianca, put her in there with the, Bailey or somebody who can really go. You might have something special.
And just shout out to all the ladies and women that performed tonight, because this card was crazy. Coming in at the second spot following Cody and AJ is not easy, but respect. So after this, HP, where we going?
They gave us the Intercontinental Championship match. We got Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable.
Choosh.
And I definitely thought this was another good match, this pay-per-view, this PLE, I'm sorry, was really good. I ain't gonna lie.
It was short and it was sweet. Short. It don't have because watching wrestling can tire you out. The fatigue is very real. Sit and do a 3-hour show, a 2-night WrestleMania, what we're hearing, 2 nights of SummerSlam. Fatigue for fans is real. Chad Gable, Sami Zayn, fire. I liked it. It was a good match. And Sami Zayn retains.
And
still.
And I want to know what they're going to do with Sami, right? Because we watched this man rematch Chad Gable. You're 0 for 2, right? Very similar to AJ Styles, except AJ had a small break in between, right? AJ had the small break in between, but this was seemingly more brewing now with the Alpha Academy, because I
think that's where you go next with Chad anyway. But again, right. Sami, I don't know what happens next. We did forget to mention when Cody Rhodes was on his way out, he was greeted by the Bloodline. They got physical, and Randall Keith Orton showed up again. So that's interesting. Speaking of what happens next, but
let's revisit that, because that's actually the major spot of where the WWE Undisputed Championship is going to go next, because it wasn't just the Bloodline that came out. It was Solo first, who did like a one-on-one stare off when Cody wasn't staring at him.
Yeah, he just kind of walked up behind him.
Yeah, and he was like, And then when they did get face to face, the Bloodline came out, and then we got KO, RKO, rated RKO. We got Randy Orton and Kevin Owens coming out, brawl in the walkway and the entrance ramp, and they go out. And this kind of reminds me of a 6-man tag going back years.
Well, that's what we're going to get out of it. I don't think it's going to bring us into a one-on-one situation.
I think it will, but not right away. I think they're going to drag it out, because you have this is what I was saying with that 6-man tag. You had Ahmed Johnson, Shawn Michaels, and who was their third? I think they used Psycho Sid to fill the third spot versus Jim
Ahmed Johnson.
You don't remember he was hot? There was a time he was hot. He was hot. He was Intercontinental champ back then. And then it was Jim Cornette's camp of British.
You ever ate some hot food that burnt your mouth?
I mean, he got injured real bad. Ron Simmons, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we'll see where that goes. It was interesting.
But my point to that, though, is with that, we got a 6-man. And then from that, we got Vader versus Shawn at SummerSlam. And that's how you can draw money on that, because you got the Bloodline versus these 3 tag matches set up with RKO and Tama Tonga and Tamaloa. And then you have Solo, because you still got to give Solo some work. Solo was on a huge losing streak prior to WrestleMania. Huge, like
40. Yeah, so that doesn't excite me about a Cody Rhodes program.
But it's worth noting, and we gotta note it.
Hey, that's what we're here for. But
watch how Dominic
back to Gable and Sami Zayn.
Yeah. I had that match actually rated pretty high, but the Maxine, I was kind of hoping
we just did that though. We just did the Otis in the face thing. We just did the Maxine rinse, cycle, repeat. Like
Ooh,
rinse,
okay.
like we just did it. Like I said, Cody Rhodes and slip my mind real quick. Cody Rhodes and AJ
Yeah.
gave me something I didn't see in a while.
Right.
Right. The women's triple threat match gave me something I didn't see, which was the ending. I don't think many people called it. This we've seen this through the weeks leading up to this
on free TV, right?
So it was. I love Chad Gable. The Chaos Theory, I love it. Chad Gable was probably one of the strongest men in the company. It's just if you were going to pull the trigger on him, you would have did it with Gunther. Sammy dethroning him, being the one to win an Intercontinental Championship. I don't know how I really feel about it, but I'm a Sami Zayn fan. This match I enjoyed. The ending, this ending for me was like the first ending for you. Let me say that.
Okay, and that makes sense. I can't even dispute it. I think again, a good match, but we'll see where they go, and we'll see. I'm interested to see what they do with Sammy because who's his
next? Is Sammy doing anything for the Intercontinental Championship? Has he raised the bar past Gunther, or at least is close to where Gunther had it?
Time will tell on the Gunther as far as getting even close, because the answer is no. However, he's not doing bad. For a guy who just won it, he's had a couple of opponents, being Chad Gable, and had some great matches. I would like to see him do a couple more defenses, maybe some more on Raw too. But he had the Otis match and stuff, and he's looked good. So I think, I think he is.
Ultimately, Otis is the one to beat him. That'd be cool. That would be cool.
And then Chad Gable wanting to, hey, you owe me. I trained you.
That'd be
middle.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. So and still Zayn. So from there, HP, where do we go from there?
So next we got the WWE Women's World Championship. We had Bayley versus Piper Niven and with Chelsea Green, right? With Chelsea
and
Green.
Chelsea Mysterio.
And and Chelsea Mysterio. Absolutely. How you feel about that match?
This match was good. It's good. This card, every match was really good. It made sense. I said Bayley needed to spicing up her run a little bit because I think a lot of the champions are just in real weird booking situations right now.
Yes.
Because the chase, we saw great chases, but what happens after the chase? Piper Niven, I think she should be highlighted more because the recap that they showed, she was winning championships around the world before she got to the WWE.
Yes.
People don't know her body of work, which I thought was great. They teamed her with, they turned her to Doudrop.
Yeah.
That didn't work.
I didn't like that either.
That was maybe a step back for her. They even changed the name. They got away from what she was and who she is. I'm glad to see it being back. But then again, she has the sidekick comedy act, Chelsea Green. So they pulled the trigger, but not all the way. To give her a match in Scotland on this pay-per-view PLE, I think was a good job. Unfortunately for you and her, because this was your one you picked.
Yeah.
In the predictions you picked, we all had everything across the board. Me and DNA exact same picks. You had Piper Niven and AJ as your wild cards, and Bayley retained. Solid match, good match, good spots. Chelsea Green is money. Chelsea Green is money because not only can she do the comedy stuff, she can wrestle.
She can wrestle, and this is what I hate, to be honest. The women need a secondary title. Because there's a lot of eggs around one basket, and it's like eventually they get stale. Like it even happens with the men, but then they can spice it up. They got the tag, they make some new tag teams and stuff, and it works. But with the women, they don't have that. So there's a big vacancy of like, okay, there's a lot of people who can wrestle, a lot of people who could be getting elevated, but there's nothing there that, that they can elevate. And they can come out and break out some old belts to give the women's titles difference. For instance, they could break out a TV championship, a women's TV, and every week on whatever show that title is on, they're defending it. Other show could have a hardcore championship, and these women are out here getting rough and rugged, doing the Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles fighting throughout the building type of thing. Maybe.
Knowing Triple H in his brain, that may be something down the line, because right now it's just 3 women's championships, right?
Yeah, the world's how are you breaking up the tag teams? Like
there's just as one set.
There's one set, yeah, and then there's 3.
So maybe you need another set. I don't know. Again, it's a good problem to have a deep roster, but when you have people that people want to see and they're fans of, and they kind of hit these mid-card ceilings, it just kind of turns you off a little bit. But Chelsea Green came in hot too. She came into Royal Rumble and she just was in upper mid-card positions. Again, but she can wrestle. I know if that 24/7 championship was still a thing, her and R-Truth would be cutting up right now.
Yeah, that would be dope. That'd be dope to see her in that type of spot.
So, comedic wrestlers, Santino Marella, R-Truth. Let's even throw Chelsea. Let's even throw Chelsea Green in there. Does the comedic wrestler persona or gimmick take away from the actual wrestler? What do you think?
Wow. That is a tremendous question. Santino Marella ended up losing a lot, but he stayed relevant for a long time. John Cena.
But he was in a lot of high card positions. There were times we thought Santino was going to win multiple championships because of the matches he got.
It seemed like it was going that way. I mean, if your comedy is good, you will get those positions.
But will you ever win? Will you ever
win the world title? Probably not.
Where do we put Kurt Angle in that? Kurt Angle was funny.
He wasn't funny when he first came in, though.
Right, but Kurt Angle was funny.
He became funny. I like when he became funny.
He's just a sexy Kurt. I make your ankle hurt.
He breaks the mold a little bit, right? Because he didn't come in that way. For people who came in that way, it's much harder, I think.
Harder to break out. So it's easy to step up versus stepping down.
It's just like you start a new job or something. You come in there laughing, joking, then you try to get serious because you get promoted. No one takes you serious.
Gotcha. So Bayley retains, solid match. Again, they good match. That's a nice picture of Bayley, by the way.
It is. And I think she actually is booked well out of all the champions right now, because she just went against a strength champion that had her, so you can see the diversity of her opponents, right? And that's what I'm looking for too, diversity of opponents. Whereas Cody, he has AJ, and then who do you have? Logan Paul, right? And it's like, I haven't seen him against no power. Somebody you expect him like, ooh, So that's what I'm waiting for Cody.
So shout out to Bayley. Shout out to Piper Niven. They would have rioted if their second hometown hero had won, but unfortunately, Piper Niven didn't get the job done, and Bayley is your champion. So after this, there's only one place to go.
Damian Priest, the WWE, well, I shouldn't say that. I should say the World Heavyweight Champion versus Drew McIntyre, the hometown hero. I mean, what a match. What a match.
Good match. Big E say big meaty men slapping meat. They weren't. That's what he said.
I mean, he said it, but you repeated
it. They weren't meaty, but they were slapping meat, and it was a good match.
I'm gonna say this. I am officially I'm on the Damian Priest bandwagon as far as him being champ. It's cool now. To watch what he went through today, not just how.
I don't want to cut you off because I think we're gonna be here for a minute. Good match, a lot of false finishes, a lot of spots. One spot that Damian Priest got tangled up in the ropes. Drew McIntyre looked great. The finish, we saw CM Punk come in, cost Drew McIntyre the match. It was a ref spot. CM Punk comes in. 1, 2. 1, 2, stops at 3. McIntyre looks up, realizes it's Punk. Then from there, he gets caught in the South of Heaven. Chokeslam. Damian Priest retains. This match was fire.
So let's I'm gonna break a couple things down in there just real quick, a little bit, just to give some context to that, because of why I said Damian Priest. That botch that Damian Priest had, he has Drew McIntyre on the apron or on a outside of the ring. He goes to jump over, uses the ropes as a springboard. His leg on a foot on the second rope catches the top, twist in it. He never makes it out, and he gets hung upside down, ankles stuck in it. Not meant to happen. Drew, being the character he is, he gets to kick it. Kicks my man. Later throughout the match, you see, maybe it's a hell of a work, but I literally thought he was injured. Just to see him not start putting weight, even when he did the pin and he kept his leg up, like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? You could like, I can't put no weight on this. So I'm interested to see what happens going forward with the world title. Pay attention to how many times we see Drew on television, Damian on television, if he's having matches on television, or are they saving him?
If we don't see him on television, we know something wrong, because every week for the past few weeks, the show he's on has been Judgment Day heavy. I'm talking multiple scenes, multiple spots, recaps. It's been Judgment Day heavy. And we still have the Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan thing going on. We have the Carlito thing going on. So it's Judgment Day heavy. So if we start to notice him not being present, then it might be a indicator something really happened in that match.
Yes, and I mean it looked nasty, to be honest.
I'm a Damian Priest fan. The Archer of Infamy coming up from NXT. I felt they should have pulled the trigger on him with the Bad Bunny match, which was great. Damian Priest is a great worker. Damian Priest reminds me of Jordan Grace. Damian Priest went before WWE. He was Punishment Martinez. He weighed probably 100 plus more pounds than he weighs now. He was a big guy. He took his body serious, got in shape, and this is the reward. Same thing for Jordan Grace. She got into, that's something Mark Henry always says. When you start taking care of yourself and you doing those things, people notice. And they want, they see you taking it serious. You're taking care of yourself, your body, doing what you have to do to get from A to Z. Damian Priest bet on himself. He's been in some high spots too since arriving in the company. Has the belt, still the champ. Drew McIntyre, man, I would have rather seen the payoff tonight versus the CM Punk, whatever we about to get. People love CM Punk for everything he does but wrestle, because he hasn't been wrestling much.
He hasn't been wrestling.
And even when he first came back to the other company, wasn't good.
Yeah, I think that I'm happy that they finally did something with CM Punk. I love the camera work that happened with that, right? Because Drew was like, when he laid out Damian and he started calling for a ref, like, somebody come, please, I can get this dude up out of here. And we saw a ref coming with the shirt. So we thought, and the angle the whole time follows him, even in the ring for the first 2 counts. We as a viewer don't know who it is. So the thing with Triple H and these new regime where the one shot following from the back when one wrestler will go out, another one, and it's one long shot, like details. And I love it. I thought that was dope. To keep it.
I saw it and I was like, why does this guy have on his long sleeve? It's like a long sleeve red shirt or something.
Yeah.
Then I think about it, he has to cover up his tattoos, right? If you're seeing Punk, you have to cover up your tattoos. Then when he stopped, we kind of know who the WWE officials are, right? Because I saw Little Nate. Chelsea got physical with Little Nate and he kicked it to the back tonight. The other refs, right? I didn't recognize him, but I was like, cool. Then it hit me. It's like, oh, that's right. CM Punk.
Right. And then CM Punk gets the groin kick on Drew, lays him out. I was mad not to see Drew win, to be honest, but to see Damian Priest persevere through what either he sold that ankle injury
or he wrestled through a real injury.
And I would like to think that, I wouldn't like to think, I hope he's not injured, but I honestly think he is. I mean, honestly, just the way he continues to sell it the whole time, even in his pins, one ankle off the ground when he doesn't even have to. Bro, nah. So
then that's the dance, right? That's the beauty of wrestling. If he is injured or isn't injured, he still had a job to do and he did it, right? A lot of times wrestlers, it's a tough spot to be in. Think about, let's say you do botch a move in front of thousands of people. You have to keep going. Hey, Deion Sardines. Hey, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
I'm not gonna agree with that comment. I think I wouldn't say he's overrated. He's hella over for some reason, but I like CM Punk, so I ain't gonna say nothing crazy.
It ain't, the truth ain't crazy.
I don't think he's overrated. I just think he needs to change his moveset a little bit.
He needs to change a lot. CM Punk is the Eminem of wrestling.
Stop it. What do you mean by that?
You heard? You know what? We ain't doing this.
I'm trying to see what you mean by that. I'm being honest. I ain't trying to be funny.
We ain't doing this.
He is the Eminem of wrestling.
Hey.
Depending on who you talk to, they think that's a super compliment or like, yeah, I agree.
Take it how you want.
Okay.
Take it how you want. Okay. But Damian Priest retains. This was a solid.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my fault.
This was a good pay-per-view, PLE, whatever you want to call it. Me and DNA hit on all but I think 2. You hit on 2.
Yes, correct.
All but 2. You think you hit on what, 2?
I hit on 1.
Hit on 1.
I had 1 because my AJ was wrong.
Yeah, and I'll be sending you my Cash App. DNA will be sending you his.
Yeah, I sent DNA mine, so you can just send me the message request that way too.
It's all good, but yeah, I'm excited about what happens moving forward. Also, I'm excited about something we doing that's coming up, that we dropping. Yeah, man, we got a lot of new good content. The big homie DNA will be on that, the next one. So it's yeah, we might drop it today, might drop it next week. I don't know. We'll let y'all know though. But what you thought about the show, like, didn't like, we can get into these AERs real quick. Attitude Era ratings. HP, what do you got at scale of 1 to 10?
I'm gonna say, I mean, honestly, I really did like the show. I will say the shortness of it was good versus like long WrestleMania matches. Some of them are.
That's what I liked. I liked it. It was, and it was still 2 hours though. That's the thing.
3.
It was 3.
Yeah, they stretched. I mean, it was just like short. It's like 2.5. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, but they stretched it. I think they did well. I have the show as an 8.5.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna let my personal feelings on finishes that I don't like versus was the finish something good.
So you got an 8.5. I got it at 8. I ain't gonna hold you.
8, okay.
Because I gave the NXT pay-per-view a 7, 8. I gave it an 8. You gave it a 7.5.
Right.
So,
and I had this better only because. So here's what really worked for me that I don't know. When I watch the post conference, maybe they'll talk about it, and we'll find out in the coming weeks. Was Damian Priest hurt? Because it looked like he was hurt, like for real. Like when anybody who's ever hooped or played football, you got that ankle sprain, that high ankle sprain, that deep bone bruise.
Hey, that ankle roll, that'll sit you down.
It ain't no. So it definitely, and you saw how he got caught in that rope by his ankle. And think about a 245-pound, 50-pound man. Yeah, you know that wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah, so I definitely think he hurt himself. Hopefully something very minor, or not at all, and he just kayfabed it beautifully.
I gave it an 8. You gave it an 8.5. We put that together. This PLE gets an AER of 8.25.
That's good. I think that's solid.
It wasn't a miss on the card. It was well put together. It was some shocking moments. New champ, and you can't ask me. It was entertaining. You know, I think that crowd there got every cent of their money's worth.
It's wild. I'm trying to go back and find that the NXT one, what our score was. I want to say it was 775.
I gave it a 8. You gave it a 7.5. I could do the math real quick. I could divide. You heard Jay-Z. I could divide.
775.
Use my calculator. So.
Yep, 775. I got them notes.
Like I said, it was a step up from that, and I enjoyed it. No complaints from me. And guess what? We got the rest of the day to do more content.
Hey, Dion, I'm with you on that one. Although I do, Archie was talking about it too. He was more like not really feeling it so much. But I like crowds that are like that for the whole time. I don't know why. I appreciate that it takes a lot. If you've been to and I'm sure, you know what I'm saying? Like
I've been to 5 WrestleManias. I was at arguably one of the I was arguably at in one of the greatest crowds ever. I want to say 28 in Miami. And I was in 30 in New Orleans when the streak was broken. I was there. So
that was the triple that Daniel Bryan was in that one, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was WrestleMania when he beat Triple H in the beginning.
That's right.
So I'm cool with the crowds and the WrestleMania. I know what it is. It's just it felt like a lot tonight, and I get it because once you get new women's tag team champions, it's only up. It's only up from there.
Yeah, and they all did phenomenal. I ain't gonna hold you. I gotta make sure I put Damian Priest back on the screen, make sure he gets enough credit with the shot, and still he retained. I'm just interested to see where they go with him on 2 levels. One, if he's really hurt, because Gunther already said he's going for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. That's a lock. It's almost like a Royal Rumble spot. Gunther won King of the Ring, SummerSlam. He gets his pick of champion.
When is SummerSlam? Because
August 3rd.
Ain't that's not far.
No,
that's not far.
No, that's why it's like they gotta move. That's why I don't think so. I think if they do Cody with Solo Sikoa, I'm really gonna look down on this chance. Like, is
it this year or future SummerSlams? They're talking about making 2 nights.
Future 2025 in Las Vegas will be
a 2-night SummerSlam.
I think that's too much.
So SummerSlam and WrestleMania's in Vegas.
Is it in Vegas next year too?
What?
I gotta check. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I gotta check.
But solid match. Yeah, Dion. My first WrestleMania was 27. It was in Atlanta. So I was with my uncle. I was like, bro, we in Charlotte, North Carolina. We could drive there and drive back. And that was the first thing. And then from that WrestleMania 27, it became like a yearly trip me and my uncle made to go to WrestleManias. And that was kind of our thing we did. So, yeah, I got 5 under the belt, man. I got Atlanta, Miami, New York, New Orleans. And I want to say, what's the other one? There's one in there. It's skipping my mind. But, yeah,
that's crazy that you can go to so many that you forgot.
Hey, you just stunning on me and said you played soccer in Greece. So I think
I've done a lot of traveling though, but I had a whole career prior, to all this.
So yeah, good show. Southeast Mouthpiece, the Archie Carter, King HP, Attitude Era Podcast. The big homie DNA is on deck because we got something we about to do. It's really dope. It's really cool. We're gonna get it to y'all really soon. And I'm not a liar. Might not always tell the truth, but I'm not a liar.
I'll say this though, make sure that you like, comment, but definitely subscribe because you don't want to miss these future endeavors. They're
this thing we about to drop is fire. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. And like Arn Anderson said, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but toot.
Right. But the only way you can really get the hit the notification bell, right? Because then
we got something real cool coming up, real Attitude Era-ish. It's gonna start some fights. It's gonna start some arguments. It's gonna be some debates. Like
Popeye's chicken sandwich.
It's fire, and it's right here at Attitude Podcast. Thank y'all for joining in. Shout out to everybody that's in the comments interacting with us. We appreciate y'all. We giving y'all this content consistently, and it ain't gonna stop. So tell a friend to tell a friend. The Archie Carter Southeast Mouthpiece, King HP. We catch y'all next time. We out.
Yes, sir.
CM Punk. Man, get out of here.